from today till now your journey starts. Okay.
I'm going to introduce this class, but before that, can I have them? Before that, I would request our Executive President, Mr. Siddharth Sahni, to welcome them.
Thank you, Alok. A very good morning to each one of you. I think for us, it's new beginnings once again. Way back in 2013, when we first started the design school, it was a group of brave young students like you who decided to pursue design, and today you can see it's one of the leading design schools in the country. Similarly, for us, we realized that this combination of technology, entrepreneurship, and design really is the future, and therefore the third pillar of our university, which is the technology school, really kicks off today with each one of you. Don't worry that you all are a small group, but you're a very good group, and over time, based on how we've actually created the curriculum, many of you will be involved with larger facets of the university. This year, of course, the results for the science stream are being delayed, so there are still some students who are yet to join us, who are waiting for some of their results and their JEE results before they join us. So you'll see a much larger class when you start in September. But I really wanted to talk to you about why did we start this program. So when we started the design school, a lot of people were coming to us saying that we need students who can help us solve problems, and we want them to use creativity to solve those problems. And over time, what we realized is a lot of our technology companies, whether it's Google, Apple, Facebook, Infosys, TCS, all of them said we want to use design thinking as a very important part of how we deliver products and services to our customers. Today, 10 years later, we've realized that these same companies are coming back to us and saying we actually want to use data science, analytics, machine learning to deliver programs and solutions to our customers. And therefore, we strongly believe that this program really is the future of learning. Many of you have embarked on this, welcome. Many of you who have embarked on this will realize that this is really a cutting-edge sector which is evolving on a daily basis. A lot that you will learn, we will learn along with you, because it's really a vast universe where every day there are new challenges, there are new opportunities, and most importantly, I would say that university is also about having fun, right? So you're in your college life, there are enough people who will talk to you about studies, about attendance, about courses, about curriculum, about delivery. But don't forget that outside that also there is a whole holistic development. We want you to take part in all the extracurricular activities that take part in the university, all the college fests. In fact, our first college fest is coming in November, which is Inferno. All of you must participate in that. You will also have a lot of opportunities where we do our theatre workshops. So not only is it about the hard skills that they will teach you, but also about the soft skills that you will learn. Both of them are equally important. I want to thank Dr. Rajan, Shobit, all our faculty members, and put a hand together for Dean Kamachi, who will be your guide for this entire journey. She's quite hard on the outside but very soft on the inside, so you just have to find a way with her and you will get all your grades, work, and a lot of fun in class.
While I was sitting there and while Siddharth was talking, I was observing all of you, and it was such a pleasant sight to see all of you, most of you, wearing white. And I was thinking, data can be either white or black. You cannot color data, right? You carry a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. As Siddharth was saying, you're going to have the most powerful weapon in your hand. Data today is power. That power can be used, misused. It will all depend on how you give the data and how you present that data to the end user using machine learning, artificial intelligence, and you're carrying a responsibility on your shoulder to make sure that data is correctly used by the end user. Not just that, with the Government of India now having announced digital transformation across all government sectors, semi-government sectors, private sector has already digitized itself to a great extent. Can you imagine how the careers in AI/ML will skyrocket? and the demand will never, it will always be in short supply, the talent in AI/ML. So congratulations to the parents who have supported the decision of these young students who have decided to pursue a career in AI/ML. I'm scared because all our data is with you. And today, even if I order a pizza, next time you're going to give me the same choice of what I ordered last time. Even the smallest, minutest thing about me, artificial intelligence knows. So that power you're going to carry with you, make the best use of it. Wishing you all the very best.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to give you the glimpse of this class. But before that, let me introduce my team, our team who has worked with you, especially Mayur Vedmanshi. He's been in touch with you for your admissions, for your processes, all your queries, your admissions. So Mayur is there, Mohit Kelkar is there, Mahesh Pal, Bhavesh Kalani, and this is the class of 26. We have 31% female students, 69 male students. The average age of this class is 18 years. We have got science students from science and commerce mix, and 94% from Bombay, and then 6% from outside. This is very interesting. We have got students from great institutions across Bombay, Maharashtra. We have a student from Utpal Sangvi Global School, St. Andrews, College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Base Junior, Khar Education Society, Vasant Bihar High School and Junior College. We also have students from Vidyavardhini Junior College of Science, Sri T.P. Bhatia College of Science, Ecole Montreal World School, DPS Panvel. We have Sri CHM College, Podar International School, MMK College of Commerce and Economics, and Modern School Jaipur. So these are the institutions, some great institutions from where we have got our students. Now, let me welcome each one of you. Let me welcome the class of 26. A big hand for class of 26. I welcome Arvind Somani, Ivan Momin, Darshan Tiwari, Harshal Ojha, Charles Sukera, Kiran Pereira, Chris Suhani, Kunjan Jethwani, Lamya Adangala, Mandar Surve. I also welcome Rishi Talia, Srishti Singh. I welcome Tanya Vish, Tarushi Nandwani, Vitesh Nama, and Hushant Badle. You have shared. Let me read out for you guys. We have Ayman. Ayman is gold medalist in under-6 water polo and 100 ml freestyle. Bronze in 200 ml individual relay in SFA. Kiran Pereira, I think he's a football enthusiast. Mumbai School Sports Association football tournament. Tarushi Nandwani awarded top 16 in India's most selective student internship on STEM by high school moms and International Alliance of Educators and Counselors, partnered by Trinity College, Dublin, UK. And Mandar Surve, we have first place in 100-meter run, Police Festival, Mumbai. Congratulations, all students, and welcome to Atlas INSOFE. I wish you all the best. I'm sure you are going to have this exciting journey with us. Now, with me, I have Dr. L. Srinivasa Vardarajan. He is provost at Upgrad INSOFE.
Very good morning. Actually, very excited to be here, and for the parents, I have prepared some slides. Okay, so they can go through it. For students, we'll have some discussion. We'll do it that way. And with your presentation, I'm thinking about what were we doing when we were students. When you have these kind of students who have got these achievements, and I'm thinking, how many certificates have I got so far? Nothing other than academics. Okay, so I'm very, very glad, and in a sense, intimidated to be here because I see you're all high achievers. very glad about that. And very glad that you have chosen this field. You know, this is a very special program. B.Sc Honors offered at Atlas Skilltech is a very special program because, you know, as my position says here, you know, I kind of stay at the top of the heap and you know what's happening around. And in that sense, the kind of program that we have designed for you is not the one that you're going to find anywhere in this country who offer. You know, there are many institutes that offer programs, undergraduate degree programs in machine learning and artificial intelligence. But here, you are really going to go into the ocean of ML AI, swim with the sharks, and come out successful. Okay. At the end of this these 4 years, or 3 years, whichever you choose, you would be, my hope, depending upon how well you invest yourself, is that you would be not only be capable of employed immediately, that's a minor concern, but you would be on the path of leadership in this field. Okay, so this program is designed in such a way that if you want to, you know, immediately go to job, you will have jobs for you, or if you want to excel further, you know, go for higher studies, you will have great opportunities for that. But before I start on this, okay, I'm going backwards, sorry about that. No, both are actually working only this way.
It's going backward.
Yes.
Me too.
No. INSOFE actually stands for Original Institute for International School of Engineering. Started, I'll tell you, started by this couple of these gentlemen, Dakshinamurthy Kolluru and Sridhar Babu. They started this institute about 11 years ago with the idea that one day this place will be like the Stanford of artificial intelligence in India. That's the dream they had. With that, it was started. Initially, when the program started, it was only for working professionals, offering a postgraduate program, okay, in 2011. And over the period, we introduced regular, traditional courses like M.Sc in data and business analytics with universities in France. Then we introduced Doctor of Business Administration. This is like PhD in Business Administration. Okay, Doctor of Business Administration. You all probably know MBA, Master of Business Administration, right? So it's one step more than that, Doctor of Business Administration. And then these programs we started introducing about 3.5 years ago. And we then also started working with universities like Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. I don't know if you have heard of that. It's one of the top 20 private institutes in technology and medicine, in engineering in the US. So we offer master's programs along with Case Western Reserve University. We also have a B.Tech program in AI&ML, and we have this B.Sc Honors in AI&ML, which is now you are part of. And then we are also, as we move forward, we are also moving towards introducing very soon. We'll be offering PhD programs and more degrees to combine. So this has been our journey. You can see very systematic and continuous growth over the last 10 years. And as a part of this growth, what we have had is at Atlas, we have this INSOFE School of Data Science. We are establishing INSOFE School of Data Science at various universities, which are forward-looking, looking into the future and making sure that students, youngsters become future-proof. Okay? And in these places, we establish these schools and we are running these programs. As I told you, the institute was started by these two gentlemen, Dakshinamurthy Kolluru and Sridhar Babu. And you will see as I go through, I'm going to showcase a couple of people. Dakshinamurthy Kolluru, many of us. Okay? In fact, about 90% of our faculty are PhDs with 20-25 years of teaching research experience. For example, this gentleman worked with Dr. Abdul Kalam on the Agni project, and this person worked with the DRDO. So people with real experience in high tech. And this tech, I'm getting used to.
No, I
We'll do it from
he
here.
will handle it. He will handle
Dr.
it.
Murthy, he's doing, sorry,
Yeah,
Dr.
I'm
Rajan is doing.
I'm good.
What do you need
Just
from
tell him to change the slide, that's it.
Yeah.
Dr. Venkatesh Sunkar, actually, he is the person who heads all our academic activities currently. He is the president of INSOFE. He is specializing in business solutions, supply chain, retail. That's his area. We have Professor Shilpa Kalam, a leader in this field in how AI is applied in education. And Dr. Uma Ranjan, she is from IISc. She is specifically focusing on image analytics and how image analytics can be used. Actually, she works on multiple different things. Her primary interest is in healthcare. Okay? She is also actually working on transport safety, especially for the railways. Okay? Stuff like that. These examples tell you how AI is kind of widespread, almost ubiquitous. Okay? Many of our faculty have gone on to establish their own companies, startups. For example, Dr. Sriramurthy, he has his own consulting company called Quadratics, employing more than 100 employees. It's about 5 years old, or maybe a little bit more company. Sorry about this. Dr. Anand Jayaraman and Dr. Praful Chandra, both are in the, both were actually our faculty. They were not established. Dr. Anand Jayaraman does what is called quant trading. Some parents might know, students might not know. So he's think of him as a financial consultant. Okay. He has, and Dr. Praful Chandra, have you heard of blockchain technology? Okay. So he has established a company utilizing blockchain technology and for bringing, it's called the B2B, bringing businesses get closer and utilizing blockchain technology to help businesses grow and prosper. And we have with us Professor Ashwin Ganeshan here, for example, who is going to talk next. He is, I don't know how I should call him, applied mathematician, Ashwin?
Yeah.
Is that what you would like to characterize yourself?
Yeah, applied algorithm.
Applied algorithms, even, okay. So, very, we like to call him a theoretical scientist, okay, but he likes to call himself an applied scientist, okay. Very math savvy. We have Professor Sujit Dhanukar here. He is going to talk to you later, and his interest again is in the financial side. He focuses explicitly on fraud, financial fraud, financial fraud and detection. How do we utilize these modern technologies utilize to identify fraud in financial transactions?
Mainly accounting frauds.
Accounting frauds. Okay.
Forensic.
Forensic.
Not forensic.
It's earnings management. Gray portion of this. You said black and white,
Black and white.
but there is a gray portion also. So identifying the gray portion.
Right.
Next slide, please. This is an example from last evening. If I can call it evening, it's, you can see it's nearly 11 o'clock last night. This is from my own cell phone. Okay, so this is a chat I had last night with Swiggy. Okay, this is Swiggy. You can see what is it? Now we had some delivery issues, so we did a chat through Swiggy, and all of this you can read through it. Okay, all of this, the ones in the white, black and white, they are robots, right? You know that, not human beings. Okay, the ones that are in white and blue, that's me typing it. The ones in the black and white are robots. And if you are not familiar with modern technology, you would be thinking like in the old days, like 80, 90 years or earlier, people would think that somebody is inside the radio and singing, right? I don't know if any of you had that kind of fun. So it's like this, people would not know that everything is automated. It's all done by robots. Nobody is sitting there and answering. Think about this. Think about the complexity, okay? How many people would be using Swiggy on a day in a given city? Okay, and how many of them would be chatting? And if you need a single person to actually chat with each of these customers, then that's an unviable proposition, right? And how do we address these kind of questions? If you think about the complexity, needs produce innovations, correct? They create innovations. So these challenges foster these kind of solutions. And live example, this is all you are going to learn. In your 4th year, you will learn how to create this chatbot. This is called a chatbot. How to create this? Create a software so that it mimics human conversation, right? I'm forced to philosophize here. I'm tempting that thing. So I will not go and talk about should AI mimic human behavior. Now we will move from all the introduction about the PhDs, the quality of the faculty, that's for the parents. Now let's talk to the students. Should AI mimic human behavior or human intelligence? Anyone? There was a francophone here, right? Who was that? Want to make an attempt? Should that?
So I think there are a lot of tasks which are repetitive and frustrating for humans. So if AI can mimic human intelligence, then that would be really helpful.
How is that different from automation? That's the reason we had assembly line come through, right? Many decades ago. Of course, that's one of the reasons, not the only reason, but how is it different from automation? What is intelligence here? Anybody else?
Regarding how is it different from automation, I feel automation is based on a fixed program or a fixed cycle. It's basically monotonous. And if we put human intelligence there, if we use artificial intelligence to mimic it, so it can adapt to the situation if something and normality is there in the normal functioning. So the AI which is there, it can decide or based on based on the situation, examine and decide the appropriate action instead of doing something that's not going to give the required output, something like that. I think that's where automation is.
In our INSOFE campus, 1 minute, okay? In our INSOFE campuses in Hyderabad, what we do is when the teacher gets impressed with an answer, we give them a chocolate. Okay, so here's a virtual chocolate to you. Yes.
So I think the difference between automation and intelligence is that whenever the machine encounters a new situation, an unprecedented situation, that's when it can make a decision like humans do, and something that is not based on a pattern.
Chocolate to you. Another chocolate to you. Yeah. Okay. So the intelligence in general we see is adaptability. When a new situation arises, we need to be able to address the situation. Now the question is, I had a different question. Should this response to this new situation, should it mimic human behavior? I'm going to build a machine. Okay, here's a robot. It's going to, let's say it's going to walk through this floor. Now when it sees these steps, it has to climb up. And when coming down, and if it moves forward, it sees these obstacles, should not bang onto it, right? So it has to adapt to the situation. Everything is new situation here. Every step it takes a new situation. When it does it, should it actually mimic human behavior? Is a question. Maybe some parents can also answer it. I will leave that as a homework for you. Okay? So what's going to happen is, this is a demo of class that we do. Many a time we ask questions like this, and many a time, we hope many a time, but sometimes we get very interesting and intelligent answers like what we got today, and they get chocolates. And sometimes when the questions are left unanswered, personally I give it as a homework and then continue the discussion in the future classes. And hopefully you will discuss these questions. The one question I ask you is whether artificial intelligence, should it mimic human behavior? Okay, should it mimic human behavior? It's a question I pose to you. Okay, unfortunately I'm going to stay here only for today. I'm going back to Hyderabad. So what you can do is, I got to know, I have my friend Henry. Here, yeah. Okay. Lucky today I got to know that not only is he my friend, he's not only is he a scientist, he's also crazy. So ask him that question. Discuss with him tomorrow. Okay. Keep continuing the discussion with him. You know.
In fact, whatever systems or automation what we are developing is to support the human life and not to replace that. In fact, that's why when we are talking that the robot should mimic, it should not. In fact, it should help the human beings in their daily life rather than replacing them.
I would like to comment.
Yes.
Excellent.
If I have understood your question correctly, it says, should AI mimic human behavior?
Yes.
I think I would agree to this gentleman that it should be like an assistant to the overall human behavior. But there are aspects of human behavior which I think needs to be also interviewed in terms of the feelings of the human, the various emotions which come in. And as far as the repetitive tasks are concerned, I think it can really mimic it, but obviously there is this feelings of the human which comes across when he does the various tasks. How is that going to be looked at as something which is still a question in mind?
Excellent answer. And in fact, this reminds me of a couple of movies. How many of you have watched I, Robot? Will Smith starrer? No? Oh, 1%, okay? Students. No, I, Robot, you have not watched. It's a classic. You need to watch that movie, okay? Go home today, download it. Should be there in Netflix, Amazon, I don't know. Okay, watch this movie. Fantastic movie. And in the early scenes, okay, there is Will Smith interrogates a robot. Watch that scene. And that scene actually would answer that gentleman's question. It doesn't answer, it's along the lines of what he said. Okay? And there's another a very cheap version of the movie, in my opinion, Cheaty Robot. No? You did not watch that? Okay, try to watch that also. It also has a similar, the questions are similar. Okay, can artificial intelligence be made to simulate human emotions? Okay. Now I still have my question is not answered. So one way it's answered by these two gentlemen, but still, what is the purpose of artificial intelligence? Should it simulate human behavior, human emotions, human feeling? Should it? Okay, that comes under what is called general artificial intelligence, okay, generalized intelligence. But we are actually very keen on things like this. Can an artificial intelligence agent, can it mimic human behavior in such a way that it helps, simplifies human transactions? When I say or human interactions, Say for example, there is a senior citizen stuck at home, can't move. Okay, can a robot help her do all her activities of daily living? Okay, when it's difficult to hire a nurse or a support person, can a robot be designed for that? Okay, very important question. So far, India has been lucky. We have lots of younger people than older people. Okay, but maybe in 40 years' time, things might change. It will become an inward pyramid, in which case we might get into these necessities. Okay, so what you are going to do, the kind of impression I want to give you here is this: any part of daily life you think about. Okay, whether you are watching movies or whether you are ordering pizza, as Madam said. Okay, anywhere and everywhere, AI is now present already. Already it is present. Okay, Madam and people, Dr. Kamachi, Dr. Hina, and Henry will also tell you about you that few years ago, a couple of decades ago, when we wanted to buy books, we would go to a bookstore and we would buy. Okay. Now, if I go to a bookstore, all I find are CDs, okay, gift items. And what happened? Now they are taken over by Amazon, Flipkarts, right? And then while you search for one book, you search for Isaac Asimov, okay? And then next time you go to Flipkart, you get similar book recommendations, okay? But the next day you want to read Vedanta, you can't find that book as a recommendation. Of course, it won't be there. You got to go search again. Next, the day after, when you go again to search for some book, it will give you all the philosophical books for you. But then you are now the third day you are interested in some recipes. Right? So what is it? So the thing is learning. That is your artificial intelligence taking over. Okay, every part of your life, of our life, is now being influenced by your artificial intelligence. You are all going to be the leaders in the future. And my personal request, okay, beyond the technology.
Request Professor Ashwin Ganeshan, who is professor at Upgrad and INSOFE, to talk to our students and parents. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I love engineering, which I did in the US. And then my master's was also in electrical and computer engineering, in wireless communications. So basically, when your cell phones transmit signals, you want to make sure it's received on the other side without any errors, right? So people have been working on what are the best kinds of signals to transmit, and these things are modeled using a lot of mathematics and a lot of algorithms. So the received signal on the other side is not the same signal I'm talking into my phone. It's whatever I'm talking into my phone plus a whole lot of noise, background noise. And somehow the cell phone has to run algorithms to remove the noise. So there's mathematics everywhere, and my favorite area of mathematics actually is algorithms and graph theory and discrete math, which you'll see in some of the courses in the curriculum. So the last couple of years, I've been working with INSOFE, teaching algorithms and discrete math and so on. So that's my specialization. So I've been teaching, for example, programming and algorithms at Vijayabhumi University, which is one of INSOFE's academic partners. They're in Karjat, about 2 hours from here. And I've been teaching data structures and algorithms for other academic partners like NMIMS, Case Western Reserve University. So I just finished teaching a summer course to these students who, they just took a data structures and algorithms course with me, and then they will go to the US and finish their master's there in Case Western. So anyways, so my area is algorithms. So whenever you see courses related to programming, computational thinking, or mathematics, it's quite likely that I might be one of the people teaching it. That's my specialization. Now, the way we designed this bachelor's degree curriculum is we don't assume you already know programming or that you already know calculus. I know some universities might assume it, and I know here some of you might know it before coming, but I want to make sure that at the end of the first semester, everybody is on the same page. Maybe some of you know more programming than others, but well, we haven't yet decided who's teaching the courses in the first semester. That'll be decided soon. But if I'm going to be teaching programming, it is being offered as a course. So whoever is going to be teaching it, we start from the beginning. Okay, so we assume you've never written a program before. So if you can, in Python you can say print, and then in parentheses 3 plus 4, and it'll show 7 at the shell. And we're going to assume you've never even done that much before. Okay, but we will up the ante quickly, and you will become proficient programmers soon. Okay, it's very important that the fundamentals are taught very thoroughly. Okay, we don't want to skip over anything. And so we'll start with programming, and we'll also assume that you haven't done calculus before. So, I'll assume, for example, if I'm teaching calculus, I'll assume you've done up to 10 standard math, like pre-calculus, like trigonometry. So you know what sine of 30 degrees is, right? You know how to graph the function f of x equals x squared, and so on. So you know basic math that you're taught, basic algebra and trigonometry before calculus. And then I will start with basic calculus, like what is the derivative of a function? And I'll define all that. We'll have a whole semester just to learn derivatives, okay? So it's very important, there's a spiritual saying, one must go slow to go fast. So you have to go slow and spend time on the fundamentals, because then you can do the other things very quickly, okay? So we will have courses in the first semester like Calculus 1 and Introduction to Computer Science and Programming using Python. So these courses will be there. I might be seeing you in one or more of those courses. So I really look forward to it. So algorithms is my favorite subject. I think in the slides that Professor Rajan showed you, you saw a course like Data Structures and Algorithms. That's actually the area that I also work in for my research. I apply algorithms to solve problems in data science and so on. So anyways, one of the things I was asked to talk about is how do you prepare, and study well in this program. So I can just tell you that for some of the courses that I'm teaching, so for example, in the programming courses, programming isn't a spectator sport like tennis where you watch me write programs. Every one of you has to get your hands dirty, meaning that you get into the details, right? It's one of these things where you have to be down in the trenches at the low level, working through the individual lines of code rather than just sort of watching, right? And so we'll be having hands-on sessions along with the lectures. And so now I'm assuming each one of you has a laptop that you'll bring with you to class so that you can practice along and do the exercises. If you haven't yet bought a laptop, you can buy a laptop of any company. It doesn't matter. Like the Python interpreter is available in all of those operating systems. It can be, Windows. It could be an Apple MacBook. It could be Mac OS, or it could be Linux, Ubuntu. I've used all three of those. Those are the three most popular operating systems. So I think you should definitely practice a lot of programming, and in addition to the hands-on sessions in the classes, you'll be given homework. So you have to go home and work in the evenings and weekends and do some more coding. Okay. I'm not saying you have to work all the time, like was said. I should definitely do sports and extracurricular activities, but you will have homework. So you will definitely need to be writing programs and developing your programming skills outside of the lecture times as well, because you'll have homeworks. Now, one difference between high school and college is that I think in college, for every 1 hour of lecture, the amount of time that you need to put in to digest the material is more in college. Okay, it becomes even more if you're going for like a master's degree. So maybe in high school, I don't know how many hours of lectures you had every day, maybe 6 hours a day of classes. But you don't study another 12 hours after that, right? 6 hours a day is enough thinking in some sense, and you study a little bit more. But here in college, in many of the courses that we offer, if I teach you calculus for 1 hour or programming for 1 hour today, before the next class, I would have expected you to put in about 2 hours of self-study. So it's typically a 1 to 2 ratio for many of the classes. Okay, so if it's if you have a 3-credit course, then you'll have 3 one-hour lectures during the week. And in addition, you will be studying another 6 hours outside of those 3 hours. Now, these things are all just rough numbers because, as you know, some people really like the subject and they study a lot more. Some people need more time. Yeah, some people need more time. Some people learn things more quickly. But on the average, I would say probably an average student puts in about 2 hours of time for every 1 hour of lecture. Okay, and you're going to get out of things. Like with many things in life, you're going to get out of things, as much as you put into it. So the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. So definitely, you should do all the assignments you're being given and go overboard if you really like the subject. Practice a lot more. So one thing that's which is kind of I don't know if people have told you this, they probably have, is as you're going through these courses, think about what really interests you, okay? Because each person is unique and different. Not everyone is going to like algorithms like me, or not everyone is going to like a certain subject, okay? Everyone is unique and different. So pay attention to your curiosity and pursue it. A lot of the times, the things that you remember the best or understood the best were things that you learned out of your own interest. You want to learn something. Let's say it's offered in the 3rd year. Maybe you want to learn. Maybe you always wanted to become a doctor and you want to learn about AI in healthcare, and it's an elective course in the 3rd year. Well, you really shouldn't wait for us to offer the course. You should just go start learning online right away. Talk to your professors and work with them on projects and so on. Right? So definitely, it's there's a lot of things that you could learn which are not, officially a part of the curriculum, and you should think about what interests you and then pursue your interests. Let me just look at my list of things I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the main thing is you should all be coming to class with a laptop so that you can, I'll tell you in the first day of class. So, okay, all the software you'll need for the Python programming courses is available for free, okay? It's going to be, you can either use a Jupyter notebook or you can use something called Spider, which comes with Anaconda, which can be downloaded for free. I use Anaconda, but I'll tell you all that in the first day of class, or whoever is teaching you will tell you in the first day of class what kind of software you need. So computational thinking is going to be one of the main themes during this 4-year study. So what is computational thinking? Well, a computer has this CPU, okay, so the brain of a computer is called the central processing unit. It's like a chip, like the Pentium chip was there a long time back, but today they have 8 core processors like the i5 and the i7. But anyway, these chips are very good at executing, many instructions every second. So they can do 1 billion steps every second. In the first step, they'll load a number from this part of the memory to the accumulator. In the next step, they'll add the number here to the value that's already there here in the accumulator, and the result is stored in the accumulator. So loading, adding, they can do all this very quickly, 1 billion steps like this every second. But that's really all a computer can do, okay? It's very good at 2 things. Executing instructions very quickly and accurately, right? And the other thing is it has a good memory. So it has gigabytes of memory. Can you imagine it remembers every instruction you gave it and it executes it, okay? So these are the two things it's very good at. But if you don't give it the right sequence of instructions, it doesn't know what you meant, okay? So I, in Tinkle Comics, there's this Supandi character. And so there's, once his boss tells him to go buy a mirror for him. And so he's shaving, the boss is shaving in the morning and asks him to buy a mirror and come back quickly. Well, Supandi takes all day. And then he comes back in the evening without a mirror, and his boss is like, what is the matter? Why were you gone for so long? And Supandi says, well, I looked at every mirror, and every one of them showed my face. None of them showed your face. Okay, so I couldn't find a mirror that showed your face. And so What I'm saying is, a computer is like that. It doesn't know what you meant. You might have meant something else other than the program you typed. So your program can have bugs. And you need to learn how to take a real-world problem that you want to solve, for which you have some algorithm in mind on what the steps should be, and then convert that idea into a form that you can give a computer to execute. So computational thinking, to summarize, computational thinking is about basically that a computer only knows how to solve a sequence of instructions. Okay, it only executes the program you give it, and you have to now be able to learn how to take a real-world problem and get it into a form that you can give a computer to solve. So computers are going to help us a lot solve real-world problems, but they need the instructions. Okay, and when you learn to think computationally, you learn the ability to take real-world problems and convert it into a form that you can give to a computer to solve. So the first time where you would learn computational thinking is an introduction to programming course, where you learn to write programs to solve problems, right? You learn how to write programs. And these programs are instructions, sequences of instructions that you give to a computer to solve. Later, in your second year, third year, and fourth year, you'll learn more computational thinking. You'll learn, for example, machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, which are more complicated. So for example, on my phone, I have a calendar app. So if I want to make an appointment for, let's say, tomorrow, 10 a.m., the hard way to do it is to go to the calendar app, go to 10 a.m. and click on a button at that 10 a.m. slot. But an easier way is to actually just type. I'll just say meeting and then TOM with the shorthand for tomorrow and then 10 a.m. and enter. And it automatically runs an AI algorithm, a natural language processing algorithm that understands that TOM is tomorrow and 10 a.m. is the time 10 a.m. and it creates an event in the calendar, right? So this algorithm is already there in the phones today, and these are examples where AI are being used. So that's an algorithm that's being run in the background. And so you'll be learning all sorts of machine learning, data science, AI algorithms in the next 3 years. This particular algorithm tries to understand text, right? But you have images, and all sorts of other audio files, video files, and all sorts of data that also needs to be understood by software. So you'll have a lot of time to learn all of those things in various courses. So, like was mentioned, there's courses on ethics. Just to give you another example of a computational problem, if I were to search on Google for, let's say, table tennis clubs near me, right? I just enter this in Google. It knows my location, so it gives all the clubs near where I live, so I can go and play some table tennis. But it also shows some ads to table tennis tables and paddles and companies which sell table tennis equipment, right? So this is how Google actually gives you a free service. It's that they sell your time and your attention to these advertisers. That's why it's free. There's no free lunch, okay? So there's a small chance you'll click on those ads, and if you do, that advertising company pays Google a certain amount of money. And during the pandemic, many businesses did poorly, but Google and Facebook actually had more business, more profits, because more people were going online. And what happens is when Google shows an ad, there are many advertisers who wanted to, so what happens behind the scenes is, there are all these companies that want to, for example, sell table tennis equipment. So they say to Google, if anybody enters the keyword table tennis in the search box, I'm willing to pay you if you show my ad. But the keywords that they enter should contain the word table tennis. So companies bid, there's an auction, okay? Companies will bid on how much they're willing to pay if you show their ads. And the bids will say not just how much they're willing to pay Google, but also what keywords there should be in the query. So now Google says, all right, somebody entered table tennis. I have so many companies, all of which have bid on that same keyword table tennis. Whose ad should I show? Because it can only show like 1 to 3 ads on a page. So it runs an algorithm and it tries to maximize its profit. And this is an interesting problem. It's an area called computational advertising. Okay? And there's a lot of interesting mathematical problems there. Now, why am I mentioning it? I actually wanted to mention something about ethics. These companies spend a lot of money hiring child psychologists to make sure that the kids are spending the maximum amount of time glued to the screen, because what they're selling is the attention or the time of all of us to the advertisers. The commodity being sold is our time. Okay? So there's a lot of ethics going on. Some people say this is unethical, you know, and you know, if you're really having people working hard to figure out how to capture your attention, and if it hurts your mind, somehow in the long run when you do that a lot, maybe, you know, that's not good for your mind, then maybe it shouldn't be allowed. Okay? So a lot of people, so you know, ethics and then law is another thing. You know, when you buy a new car, you trust it because there's so many regulations in place that by the time somebody's selling a car, you know it's safe to drive it. But when there's a new app that I have to install on my phone, I don't trust it. Okay? So the software industry is growing at a much faster pace, and they don't have, you know, they don't have regulations in place to say first, tell us what you're doing, you know, let's test it out, and then before you put it on the market, you want to approve it. It's not there yet. In Europe, they have these AI acts and GDPR, these laws that are coming into place so that you can trust AI more. Okay, so there are regulations that are there in place. But I think in many other countries, including US and India, I think the regulations still need to be picked up. So maybe some of you will end up, you know, playing a role in the legal frameworks that will come up, so that there's more monitoring going on and people will trust these new technologies more because there's more regulations in place. Okay? So there's all these things that are there for you to learn. It's a very exciting field, so I hope you all find your area that really interests you. Okay? One thing is never be afraid to ask questions. Every time you learn something new, you're going to have a lot of new questions. Always raise your hand and say, can you explain it again? Or I don't understand this slide. You know, whatever your question is, okay? So when I learn a new subject, and we're all constantly learning, we have, you know, hundreds of questions, okay? So don't be shy, don't be timid. What matters is when you graduate, how much you know. It doesn't matter whether you know it today or not. So you should always ask questions, okay? So I want to encourage you to ask questions, encourage you to see your professor whenever you have doubts. You know, visit your professor in the office and ask your questions. Yeah, I don't know yet if we're going to be using some kind of a learning management system.
We will be.
Okay, like SLMS, like what we have been doing. Yeah. So I'll be we'll be posting our course material on some portal where you will have login access. So you can always post questions on the discussion forums there where other people, your classmates, can also look at them and answer them, and you can all participate together online as well.
So once you have done your 4 years of B.Sc in AI&ML, what are the places what are the jobs you can take over, and we will talk about being a data scientist, ML engineers, AI researchers, AI architect, and big data engineers. So these are the 4 or 5 broad divisions where as a data scientist, as a machine learning engineer you can work. And the first thing we would like to see is a data scientist. What is a data scientist? So here what we do is, we should, as a data scientist, we should know more statistics than the programmers and more programming than the statisticians. So you will be doing both programming and statistics. These are the 2 key things which are needed for being a data scientist. Right? Now, what are the other skills and requirements you should have? The first thing I have kept here is domain knowledge. Professor Rajan, Dr. Rajan, Professor Ashwin, they all talked about having some exposure in various fields, maybe mathematics, maybe law, maybe finance. So these are the domain knowledge. Where do you apply data science knowledge. So data is the first. In data science, data comes first, and data is generated by a domain, which can come from finance background. As me, I am from a finance background. We have from metallurgy background. We have from chemistry background. There are professors who are from chemistry. So data is generated from there. So the first thing we should have a domain knowledge, and you should specialize on that. And then we should also know about inferential statistics. You have done statistics, mean, median, mode. Everyone, class 10, 12, all of you has done. But what does that mean will be taught to you. How does our data, when we say mean, what does mean actually mean? So this is basically inferential statistics. Then you should have programming knowledge about R and Python and machine learning algorithms, which will be taught to you. The statistical models, machine learning models, deep learning models, these all come under this thing. So these are the requirements to be a data scientist. And then what are we supposed to do as a data scientist? So we generally do, the first thing is get the data. Bring me data, then I can do something. So data collection. And when the data comes, everything is in raw format. So whenever the data comes, it's in the raw format. So that needs cleaning of the data. And that cleaning and other things, and then understanding the data is also very important. So these are the things which you will be doing as a data scientist. And once the data is ready, you are able to explain the data. We generally build the machine learning models, the predictive models. And then once the predictive models are done, we need to find out the inferential of the models. Now when I say models, we have been talking models from the morning. We don't mean the models for the ramp walk. They are all algorithms. All programming models, right? They are algorithms. So don't get say modeling means we'll start showing you the ramp walks. So this is what we will be doing as a data scientist. Then we have ML engineers. Now here you need a bit of more programming aspects. So you will need to have more solid foundation of programming part, and you will have to learn about with Dr. Rajan was showing you about ML ops, DevOps. So those are the things which are more important for ML engineers. Where once the model, as I say, as a data scientist, me as a data scientist, I will do some research with the data. Now I have built a model to predict whether you are like there's a model camera written out here, and I'm putting it in my class. Who is dodging off? Who is sleeping in the class? That kind of prediction model I have done it. Now, once that is my research I have done it. That has to be implemented on the server system, on the university's server system. That will be done by the ML engineers. So here, what are the things we need? Again, programming knowledge. We need to understand about the machine learning algorithms are necessary, the cloud technology and the implementation of those cloud technologies, DevOps or MLOps. We have to learn about the productionization. Now, once everything in the machine and manufacturing industry also, we have production line, and we have the once the production line is complete, we have to pack them and send them. So here is the packaging of the entire models which we have created. And then one very important thing is optimizing the computational cost. So once we were during this lockdown, we were doing a project, and we were supposed to forecast some values every 15 minutes, and a piece of code was taking 15 minutes. Do you think we will be able to forecast? No. So we had to optimize the code. Every 15 minutes we need to forecast something, and one single piece of code was taking 15 minutes. And then once we optimize the code, it was taking 7 seconds. So that is kind of thing we have to do as a ML engineers, is optimization of the execution of the code. Second thing is AI researcher, the safest job you can have it. As a PhD scholar, you start doing research and you need a PhD in this, PhD in data science. In fact, yeah, any researchers will have to have a PhD. And you try to create new methods or new algorithms for machine learning. AI architects. This is the most senior level jobs, and you will need to understand some more management part is like project management. This is an important part for AI architects. I have given some names, so that would be again once you learn about project management, agile, scrum, all those things are there, waterfall systems are there. So these are something which we have to learn in project management, and then also these persons are responsible for the AI translation. Business will have a problem. AI researcher or data scientist job is to solve the problem. Then these architects come in between, which will translate the business problem into more of a data science problem. So they are translators. So these are the jobs of AI architect. So you have to have some management concepts, project management, and you have to have good communication skills. So these are the requirements, and then you can do an AI translations and all those things. So these are something which are there, and then finally we have the big data. What is big data? Any idea?
So it's the huge voluminous data that is complex to process, and it is generated every second these days with the advent of technology.
I know the virtual chocolate, sir.
We have real chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, we have real chocolate?
Here. If anybody is hungry, please.
So basically when the volume, velocity, the volume of the data, the velocity of the data, they are part of big data. There are 5 V's in big data. We will be learning about all these things. So you want to analyze the image. So as I was saying, I have a camera out here and I am focusing on the school class, and I want to see the camera will take the photos, and then you will see whose eyes are closed. So this 1 hour class, just see one photo is of around 24 MB, 30 MB, or maybe 1 GB, or sometimes we have it. That thing you are capturing every second or every nanosecond based on the frame rates. Then you are seeing whether the person is sleeping or not. How much data is generated out in this small class. Then we have the entire internet. So these are some things which big data would be. You need to deal with voluminous data. So there are some technologies which are required, like Spark, Hadoop. We basically need parallel processing into multiple computers, right? Only then we can process so much of data. One single computer cannot process. Otherwise, you have to buy a very big supercomputer. Again, they are also not the single computer like the way we see one laptop. That's not a supercomputer. There are a lot of multi-processors being installed. So we can use normal computers and we can join them over network, and we can use a client-server architecture or distributed database architecture to solve the big data problem. So we have some softwares called Spark, Hadoop. You have heard of SQL programming, SQL or SQL. So there is something called NoSQL. We will have to learn all those things. Then there are some programming knowledge, Python, Scala, Java. Those things has to be learned in detail. The main jobs which we will be doing is ETL, that is extract, transform, load the data. And There is something called data warehousing, data mining, and nowadays we have not even warehouse, we have data lakes, even bigger. I don't know when it will be data sea. We have already moved to data lakes.
Yes.
In the conventional sense, we are going to gain in terms of attracting more eyeballs through big data. So that's going to be the big business of the future as far as cinema is concerned, especially in a country like ours, where we are still have a huge untapped market in digital consumption. The second change that is going to happen is that there is going to be a radical movement away from the content itself. Movies are going to be shorter, I think. They will be without intervals. And instead of stories being based on physical geographical boundaries, they're going to be based on more social and psychological geographies. Because everybody will be available, talking, exchanging ideas on the digital world. And because of this flow of ideas being uncontrolled and going on as it is, anyone can make a movie in the future, what's going to happen is even big production houses are going to suffer. They're going to completely break down. Power will not be vested in the hands of you like me, or I won't name other production companies, I just mentioned myself, but all the other production houses, because there will be a more democratic process via which you will understand the demand for the kind of cinema, because the audience will straight away send you a feedback like it already does on Netflix. Also, I've mentioned this before, instead of all of us waiting for money or taking loans, what is going to happen is there's going to be a lot more crowdfunding. The third change that is going to happen is between the viewer and how we watch the film. That is going to be a big change. Right now, whenever movies attract us, it's a momentary catch of emotion or an experience, but soon, movies themselves will become the experience. They will be interactive. You will sit down, you can change the endings, you'll be able to change the characters. You can watch different films, your children and your family, while watching the same film, you can follow different storylines. All this is going to add, of course, value.
It's a long one. So
Dr. Henry has personally interacted with all the students. I want you to share a goodwill message for our kids.
Yeah, thank you. So I think most of you have met you already in the interview, and many of you attended my presentations on AI. What is AI? What you are going to do in this program? What are the courses we have already discussed? So I welcome you all once again. So most of you are here. I think some will join in the next 5 to 6 days by the beginning of this week. And I think now you got enough from morning about AI, say data analytics and everything, right? But we have already discussed it. Even during the interview process, I have explained you what you are getting into, right? You are very clear about it, right? Is that okay? So most of you, some of you interviewed you online, I think. I couldn't do it face to face, but most of you I did it personally well, so I know what you hear now. So I welcome you all once again. I hope you do well in this program. And maybe tomorrow I will be starting some sessions with you based on cognitive technology. What is the hard part of AI and what is the soft part of AI. So what is the relation between them? But it's all not for evaluating you, but making you to understand the differences. That's very important. And how data is collected, what are the technologies which are important to collect data. It's not sitting and typing in the laptop, but how you collect them automatically. I already explained the brain part, how it evaluates and what you are trying to do with the processor, and how the processor itself is changing in its architecture to suit machine learning and AI, right? Because we can't do with the traditional competition with CMOS. So we have to change into cognition, to think and take decisions. That's very important. So what is the difference between computation and cognition? So all these introductions, I will do it tomorrow. I think I have a session. Tomorrow my session will be the beginning session. So that time we will put it in the syllabus and try to orient it towards. So that way I conclude, because you have been listening for too long. It's not good for too much. Too much of anything is not good. So I will stop it here. So wish you the very best and hope we will all learn together for next 4 years. Okay? Take care.
Thank you. Hina ma'am, I would like to say something. Since last 2 hours, I'm also sitting here. And I've been talking to students about this program since April or May, I believe, Yes. But today when I heard Dr. Srinivasa Gunarajan, Professor Ashwin, Professor Sujit, Dr. Henry, I've been listening to him. This AI, computer science, cognitive technology, these are some super cool words, Yes, I'm a humanity guy. Then I did my master's in marketing, Wish after listening to all these things, wish, ma'am, you were there, that side. That side, This is really exciting. Some of the things go above, when doctor was talking, some of the things went ahead my, head. If you allow, I would like to sit for some of your classes. Some of your classes would come. Sir, you are in this field, we have interacted. This is really interesting. It didn't exist during I passed long time back, so it didn't exist. But students, this sounds really, not only sounds, this is exciting and enticing. And I wish you all the best, all our kids, and God bless you. And I request Dr. Kamachi, Dean Atlas Skill Tech University, to take students through your presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
So it's not a presentation, I will not take much time. See, we have created the group. I think you can check your mobile phone. All of you, please join the link first, so that I can post all the schedules and other things in the group. Okay, tomorrow we are starting with our induction program. I hope you might have received the academic calendar. So that academic calendar also I'll be posting in the group. We will be circulating that. And tomorrow onwards our induction program will start. We are going to start with our induction program. So induction program is just like it's a preparatory for you. So today it was a very tech heavy things like one after another the presentation. You have taken the course of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So the before entering into the rigorous course curriculum, we would like to prepare you to that level. Okay, so here the sessions are arranged in such a way that 9:30 to 12:30. So we are having equally, it is a blend of the management as well as the technical things, like the mathematical part of your curriculum will be covered. We can call it as a bridge course also. So somewhere in 11th, 12th or 9th, 10th, you might have done some of the mathematics. We would like to refresh, recap everything before you enter into the core technology. Okay, so that is how this program has been scheduled, which is starting from tomorrow. So 9:30 to 12:30, it's a very lighter session. I can say that 9:30 to 10:30 will be a generic sessions like leadership explorer kind, which will be preparing you for the leadership roles. So this is, we are starting tomorrow with the icebreaker. So it is an introduction session, which will be taken by our very own Dr. Rabinder Henry. Then 11 to 12:30 will be normally the technology related sessions in everyday basis. So tomorrow we are having innovation by Dr. Aditya Gupte. And again 25th you are having by INSOFE Professor Ashwin will be taking. And we are having Dr. Ashish Shukla will be taking a session on entrepreneurship. And we have again on 26th, we are going to have again another session by Professor Ashwin. And in the afternoon, I will be taking a session on technology and beyond. And moving ahead, 29th, we are having organizational design. He's our very own Mr. Shami Srivasav. He's a very famous professor in our design school who will be handling a session. Then in the afternoon, we are again having introduction to mathematics, the basics of mathematics by our Dr. Henry. And 30th, we are having playing with probability by Dr. Nilima Azade. She is also a part of our digital technology school. And we are having 11 to 12:30 IoT demonstration by Mr. Ashutosh. He is our own design faculty. And 9:30 again on 1st September, we are having fun with statistics by Dr. Ashish Shukla again. And 11 to 12:30, we are having creative problem solving. So it's a blend of technology and management, design, everything. So here we normally follow in Atlas Skill Tech University the interdisciplinary, the transdisciplinary approach. So if you look into the curriculum also, I'll be posting everything in the group. Okay, so if you look into the curriculum, we are having the technology core, and he has already explained that we are having life skills as a part of our curriculum right from semester 1 till semester year 4, that is semester 8. So every semester we are having a life skill course, and we are also having Atlas selective. So So these Atlas electives are very interesting in nature. It's not only our own in-house faculties are taking, we are having the practitioners, industry experts are coming and delivering sessions. It's nothing to do only with the technology, it is out of your technology. So you might have got some passion towards photography. Your parents might have told no, concentrate on your studies now. So now you would like to take it up ahead. You have an opportunity. In every semester you can pick up something from outside your domain. So you can take it from design or you can take it from media. We are having some languages courses also, German, Spanish. We are having something with related to cookery, hospitality, cinematography, everywhere. So whatever you would like to pick up, you can pick it up in every semester. One Atlas elective you can do. And this semester, as we have already started with our Atlas elective and we want to mold you to this particular curriculum, we are offering one Swayam course which is compulsory only for this semester. That we are not giving you the choice, that we are making you to do compulsory. It is ethics in engineering practices. It is by the Swayam portal. We have already registered through your mobile numbers, so you can directly start. So this is for this particular semester, we are making it compulsory. Next semester onwards, you are having your own choices. So you can select any subject as per your choice, as per your passion, which you would like to continue further. Okay, so like that, creative problem solving. And the next we are having art experience by Mr. Jay Ranjit. He is a young professor with our design school. That will also be an interesting session, I am telling you. Then again we are having Dr. Henry will be meeting frequently. So he is going to take the game of calculus. And moving ahead, that's it. Yeah, second is the Friday. Yeah.
We are starting
With fifth, we are going to start with your classes. So your classes will be between 8 a.m. in the morning till 12:30. The schedule I will be sharing in this group. I hope all of you have joined this group. Yes? So today, after this session gets over, I will send you about the complete curriculum structure. Along with that, I will be sending the timetable for next 4 weeks. Okay? Along with that, this schedule will also be shared with you. Okay? Wishing you all the best. Let's meet tomorrow.